Girls of Reddit, what is the one thing about your significant other that you absolutely adore? He is the best human I've ever met, hands down. He helps everyone, whether it's just holding a door or spending hours on the phone with a friend who needs him. He's effing hilarious but also knows when to be serious. He always listens, even if he doesn't know what to say you can tell he actually understands. He's so incredibly smart, but always is ready to learn more things, whether it's about his interests or mine. Also he's hot. So that's nice too. He stared at me while I was watching TV. When I looked over at him he just smiled even bigger till he gets the little crinkles at the corners of his eyes and told me he loved me. Naturally I am incredibly suspicious and still can't figure out what he's done wrong, will update as found. When he comes up to me at random and hugs me saying look at this small one that I just found or you are so small I just want to squeeze. He could have settled but did not. He grew up in a poor area in a trailer home, where people for generations grew up and never leave. He could have stayed, got a job that pays next to nothing, stayed with his mega Christian ex-girlfriend. He did not. He found every scholarship he could, applied for every loan, worked full-time, and got his college degree. He left the town to start fresh and change everything. Now he has a house, a great job, a dog, and me of course. He always brushes it off like it was nothing. But I can't imagine the strength it took to break free of the generational cycle. His brother continued the cycle though despite the help offered. We can mess around without getting offended. We call each other some rude names that'd look terrible to outsiders but it's all in good fun. We can also call each other bro without it being weird. The night before, he grabbed a baked potato and just bit into it whole, no butter or cheese or anything. Then he did some dance in front of me while I was on the couch and accidentally dropped a bunch of potato crumbs on me. He really is my B. If I had to sum it all up to one thing I really couldn't decide because he's just so good to me, so I'll stick with that recent one. He's so freaking sweet. When I first started hanging out in his room just as friends, we'd sit on his bed, and sometimes I'd fake gasp or faint and fall backwards toward the floor, of course planning to catch myself. He'd always catch me. One time, he threw a pillow at me. I said ow, and he immediately asked if I was okay. A pillow. He's just so freaking adorable, gives the best hugs, plays League with me even though the hates the game, knows so much about things I don't, and is overall such a great person. I'd love to have a friend like him even if we weren't dating, but of course I prefer it this way you. Just wish he'd let me pay more, because I'm starting to feel really guilty about it. This is far more than one thing now, but he's so honest. He hasn't said I love you yet, we haven't dated for long, because he thinks it isn't like that yet, but he says you make me happy and you make me smile. It's nice to hear that, because that's enough for now, and I'd rather hear a real assessment of how he feels than something fake and pretty. Also, when I'm busy with studying or RSOs, he's very supportive about me not having time to see him. But one week when we were both free, I saw him for hours every single day, and we'd just hug forever. I'd get up to leave, because it was getting late, and he'd pull me back down. I'd get all the way to the door and open it, and he'd pull me back in and close the door. It's nice to know that you're wanted, especially because we normally don't have much time to see each other, and I'm honestly a pretty insecure person. I just like pretty much everything about him and wish we weren't on lockdown, so I could see him again. He is an amazing daddy. He's the majority stay-at-home parent and I'm the breadwinner and he's killing it. He has been through some very painful situations in his life but he is one of the finest people I've ever met. He's kind, smart, funny, heartfelt and generous. And kick-ass in bed. He is really good to my mom. We sold our house, and got rid of almost everything we had to move in with my now 87-year-old mom 2 years ago who at the time had mild dementia. He treats her like a queen. Brings home fresh flowers, her favorite foods, has driven her to annoying things like getting her taxes done, and hair and nail appointments. Before we moved in, they would have 2 to 3 hour-long phone conversations that would make me jealous, lol never mind he's super attractive. I'm biased, never mind he works his ass off. All I know is he loves my mom, and she can be super annoying sometimes. She can't help it bless her heart. After her asking what day it is for the 43rd time, he answers her with respect, and is kind and funny to her. He's the shit. He has been through some very dark stuff, like losing most of his immediate family one after another to tragic circumstances. He has every right to be angry and bitter. Instead, he chooses to be happy, makes jokes, plays the clown. He is a lot better prepared emotionally than I am if things ever go horribly wrong. I appreciate that strength. How he rambles on and on about car parts and other car things. He's a mechanic and a rally driver, and half the time I can't understand a word of it, but it's so cute when he gets all excited or tries to teach me useful stuff. I also like watching him drive. He listens, actually listens. When I ramble on about my day, he listens, asks questions, laughs at the funny parts, and follows up the next day. He knows the names of the students who drive me crazy, though he sometimes sides with the student. He's just the best listener I've ever met. Just here taking notes on how I can be a better man. At this point, there's very little I don't love about my husband. Even his snoring. He recently went on vacation without me. We have a lot of animals, so we vacation separately, and I couldn't sleep at all without his snoring. The one thing I love and have always loved since day one is his smell. He is a man of very few words and he's not naturally affectionate, but when he hugs me it smells like safety and comfort. Even after a long day at work I love the way he smells. His laugh. It fills me with pure happiness whenever I hear it. I can always tell how happy he is based on his laugh. He really wants to take care of me, mentally and physically. It's amazing to be so supported, and to have someone that focused on making sure I'm happy. I absolutely love it. On top of that, he makes me feel really beautiful with past relationships. I never felt quite this way. I catch glimpses of myself in the mirror lately and catch myself thinking, damn, I look cute, and I haven't felt that way in a long time. He makes me feel so good about myself, so even when he's not around I notice that for days after we spend time together, I like myself more. I like how my body looks more, how my face looks without makeup, shit like that. It's such a wonderful feeling.